In this video, we're going to give you our 10 best tips for what to pack when you travel.
We've been traveling for almost 5 years now, and we've traveled around the world and in a lot of different situations, and it hasn't always been easy, but we have learned a lot along the way. We're giving you our 10 best packing tips so that you can travel light, save money, and make your trip easier and more comfortable. Our tips for clothing apply to both men and women. So what we do is we create kind of a capsule minimalist wardrobe, and we choose pieces that are all in the same color scheme and all in the similar style so that we can layer them and create all of our outfits from those same pieces. So here's an example of what my wardrobe looks like. I pretty much only buy gray t-shirts, and then I'll bring usually a light cardigan and a hoodie that I can layer on top. And then on the bottom, I'll have a pair of jeans. I have a pair of tights that I can wear on their own or under the jeans as long johns. And then I'll have a skirt or a pair of shorts that I can wear if it gets hot. So these pieces are all interchangeable, and I can create different outfits for different situations. It's easy to get carried away with clothing, but in our experience, less is always better. And if you find that you're missing something, you can always pick it up where you are.
For water, when we went to Central America or Asia, we used to buy a lot of bottled water, and we felt really bad about it. It was a lot of plastic, and it was actually really expensive. So now we got ourselves a really small portable water purifier. This one's a SteriPEN. You can charge it with USB, and it works really well. It's just an ultraviolet light that kills the bacteria. And we basically just fill up our water bottle with water. You turn it on, put it in here, and stir it for about a minute, and your water's clean and ready to drink.
I travel with a lot of books, so I'll usually bring a pretty big travel journal with me, a guidebook for wherever we're going, and a couple of novels. As you can see, this takes up a lot of space, it's really heavy to carry, and it's really inconvenient. So what we're doing is we're trying to lighten our load and downsize the amount of books that we're bringing with us. What I've done is I've started to choose smaller travel journals. So these are only about 1/4 of the size. We're only going to be picking up free maps that we get at the airport or the train station so that we can at least find our way around. And we'll use an iPod as a guidebook and for maps. And then our iPod and a set of headphones are going to replace all of the bulky novels that we carry with us. So by making these simple changes, we're able to go from this to this. I'll be borrowing free ebooks from the library, and I'm also going to be getting audiobooks from Audible. And Audible sponsored this video, but I was already interested in what they were offering because, like I said, we're trying to downsize our books, but also I get really nauseous anytime we're in motion, and I can't actually read when we're in the car or the plane or the bus. So audiobooks are the obvious solution. I'll be able to read anywhere, and I don't even have to carry anything with me. The first book that I've chosen from Audible is At the Edge of the Orchard by Tracy Chevalier. I've had my eye on this book for a long time. I'm excited that it was available on Audible. Now I can listen to it right away. Audible's offering a free 30-day trial to our followers, so you can check it out at audible.com/exploringalternatives. You can either buy individual audiobooks on their own without the membership, or if you pay $14.95 a month, you get one free book every month, and you get a member discount on any additional books you want after that. And any book you get through Audible is yours to keep. So we'll put the link in the description of the video. It'll be audible.com/exploringalternatives.
For staying clean, we have a few really simple things that we use and that work really well for us. One of our favorite things is this laundry soap bar. We use this to wash our clothes by hand. It is nice to be independent and be able to do that almost wherever you are. And it saves us a lot of money because we don't have to go to laundromats. Another thing we carry around with us is dry shampoo. I was very skeptical of this when Danielle first talked about it, but it actually works really, really well. It's just a little powder that you put in your hand, you mix it around in your hair, and it's like you washed your hair. You kind of get a little refresher in between showers. You can buy this, but you can also look it up and make your own using pretty simple ingredients like cornstarch. And another thing that we bring with us almost all the time, and that helps us deal with those days in between showers, are wet wipes. We obviously don't bring a big container like this, but wet wipes combined with the dry shampoo are a really great, simple, portable way to stay clean on long travel days and between showers. And last, we always bring our trusty Dr. Bronner's soap. This can be used for anything. It's natural, it's unscented, so we can wash dishes, we can shower with this, so it's really, really handy.
I don't actually have any souvenirs to show you because we don't buy them anymore. We did on our first few trips, and what we found is that we just end up lugging around a lot of junk, wasting money on a lot of junk, and giving stuff to people that they don't actually even need. So what we do instead is we buy postcards, they're really cheap, and we mail them to our family and friends as we travel, and we feel that that's a more exciting way to show the people we love that we care about them and we're thinking about them.
If you're traveling outside the country, you're obviously going to need your passport, and you're going to need to take really good care of it. We got ours stolen once, and we just had one that it was ruined by water damage. And if there's just a bit of water that smudges the picture, it's invalid. So you got to take really good care of it, because if something happens when you're in another country, then it's really expensive to get a new one, and it's a lot of trouble. So what we do now is that we always carry it in a traveling pouch, sometimes in a pouch that we can hide on ourselves. And in that pouch, we also keep the passport in a Ziploc bag. It's really simple, it costs nothing, and it'll save it from getting water damage.
For food and snacks, we usually try to bring our own stuff, because food at the airport and the train station and in basically any touristy area is usually overpriced and really expensive. So we'll usually pack a bag of our own snacks so that we can save money and also make sure that we have the food that we actually like to eat. It's important to check out the different guidelines for where you're going, because they're always changing, and often you can't bring things like produce, liquids, raw nuts, and things like that. Packing our food is also a great way to make sure that we're eating healthy food, which we can't always find when we're on the move.
When we travel for work, we definitely bring a lot more stuff. We both have laptops and a lot more electronics, but when we're not traveling for work, we try to bring as little as possible. So if we're not bringing a computer, we usually do everything with just this iPod Touch. We don't have a data plan on it or anything, but there's Wi-Fi pretty much everywhere nowadays. And for almost a whole year, we did all our bookings. Everything was done on this, so it is possible. For a camera, if we're not bringing our big camera to film videos, then we just use the small camera on the iPod, or we can also use just a little point and shoot like this one. And then we try to keep all our cables and adapters into this pencil case here, and we tie them up with elastics. And then we have our universal power adapter, which is really handy if you're going to a lot of different countries. And we usually bring a couple extra ones just in case we lose one or the other. Another thing we put in this category is flashlights. We always carry them around with us when we're traveling, and they actually do come in really handy. So we'll bring either this one or a headlamp like this one. This one's actually pretty fantastic. It's a little Fox LE headlamp, and it has a lithium-ion battery that's USB rechargeable, and that seems to last forever. So great thing to have with us.
When we travel, we try to be aware of the waste that we're creating. Traveling is already putting a pretty big footprint on the earth, so we try to reduce it as much as possible. We try to travel with these reusables all the time to reduce the amount of plastic and garbage that we're creating as we go. So we'll usually have our own coffee mugs that we bring with us. We'll bring our own water bottle. We bring our own cutlery and reusable food containers. And we usually bring a couple of cloth bags with us for when we're shopping or doing groceries. When we're not using the containers, we can just store stuff in them so they don't take up too much space.
So this is kind of our DIY health kit. Keep in mind that this is not medical advice, and if you're going to take any of these, make sure you talk to your doctor. One of the worst things that can happen when you're traveling is getting sick. It's terrible because you're not at home, it's not comfortable, and it's to be avoided at all cost. So we try and get all the sleep that we need, and we try to eat really well. But if something does happen, we have a little bit of a health kit that we can use to try and make ourselves feel a bit better. We usually try natural things first before moving on to the pharmaceutical stuff. So we'll have oregano oil, which is a good antibacterial oil, and you can take that if you get food poisoning or at the beginning of a cold. For headaches, we have these natural oils, peppermint and lavender oil. We also usually carry garlic pills. As soon as we feel like we might be getting sick, we take a bunch of these and get a couple good nights sleep, and usually it does the trick. We also carry activated charcoal pills. These can also be good if you get traveler's diarrhea or any kind of stomach flu or stomach bug. We also always carry ginger pills on us. Gravol makes a ginger pill, but there's also other brands that make them, and that's really good for any kind of motion sickness. If these aren't working, then we'll use things like Advil We also always carry Imodium on us if ever we get traveler's diarrhea and it's really bad. We'll also carry some anti-nausea pill that is pharmaceutical strength if ever the ginger isn't working. And the last thing are glycerin suppositories. When you're traveling, if you're going from airplane to bus to something else, sometimes you're kind of out of your routine and you don't go to the bathroom. And you can get really constipated, and that's not comfortable. So last resort, we don't use these very often, but if you're super constipated, they can really come in handy.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about all of our best travel packing tips. We hope you have a great trip, and thanks again to Audible for sponsoring this video.